So Merrick Garland is suing the state of Texas over its proposed redistricting map. Let's talk about it in today's video. Hi, I'm Mike Greiner. I'm a lifelong Democratic activist who's concerned about the direction our country is taking. If you share my concerns, maybe you could like this video, subscribe to this channel, maybe even click that little bell that will notify you when I post something new. So Attorney General Merrick Garland has announced that he's going to sue the state of Texas over its redistricting plan because of the fact that it disenfranchises minority voters. Well, I certainly wish General Garland good luck on this. Unfortunately, I'm a lot less optimistic about the objectivity of our courts on this matter than Merrick Garland is. This is just one more example of how the Justice Department under Merrick Garland has taken what probably are pointless lawsuits forward to try to counter some of the efforts that Republicans are making to take away people's rights in the states. A great example of that is the lawsuit that was filed against the state of Texas over its abortion law. That lawsuit, as I described in another video, which I'll link to at the end of the video, is likely going nowhere, as the Supreme Court has already signaled quite clearly its hostility to the idea that abortion is a human right that's protected under the Constitution. And recently, with the Brnovich case, the Supreme Court also signaled the fact that it's basically hostile to the claim that Republican efforts in the state legislatures are basically taking away people's rights to vote. As a result, my guess is this lawsuit also is going to go nowhere. These lawsuits, combined with the fact that Garland has been loath to bring any kind of prosecution against Donald Trump or other top officials from his administration, indicate to me that unfortunately Merrick Garland is still living in another era. Although I've been seeing the trend of the Republican Party toward fascism since my time in college, the truth of the matter is the real turning point came in 2008 when Barack Obama was elected president of the United States. The idea that a black man could be elected president of the United States was so abhorrent to these white working class racists that starting with the Tea Party in 2010, there's been a steady move of that group over toward the fascist right that was ultimately led by Donald Trump. The fact that Donald Trump was able to ride his earlier big lie, the lie about where President Obama was born, to the White House, just shows the level of hostility that was brought forth among certain groups as a result of the election of a black president. And the reality is that any kind of efforts on the part of Democrats to try to reach out and behave in a bipartisan manner are fruitless, for the simple fact that we cannot turn our backs on the principles that we believe in. After all, if we believe in fairness toward all, no matter what the color of their skin is, in fundamental justice for all Americans, we can't suddenly say, oh, it's okay, we'll tolerate a little bit of racism on the part of the Republicans. Racism, unfortunately, is one of those things that you're either for or against. There's really no middle ground. It's clear based upon the research that this racial antagonism is what has driven much of the polarization over the last 20 years. But unfortunately, Merrick Garland is still living in the world of the 1980s and 1990s, when Democrats and Republicans kind of got along and everybody kind of ignored the race problem. Unfortunately, that's no longer the world we're living in. This is why, since the very beginning of this administration, when President Biden first announced his appointment, I said that Merrick Garland was not a good choice for this position. Literally, the United States is at war for democracy. If we're going to protect American democracy, we need a wartime attorney general, and Merrick Garland is just not it. A wartime attorney general would have realized that if consequences aren't felt by Donald Trump and his supporters, then they'll just go and keep doing the same thing over and over again. A wartime attorney general would make sure that subpoenas from Congress were enforced. And a wartime attorney general wouldn't be wasting time on pointless lawsuits that are going nowhere, and instead would be focusing on getting Congress to pass substantive legislation that can actually get the job done. Now, I don't blame President Biden for appointing Merrick Garland as attorney general. If anything, it's actually kind of a statement of what a loyal person he is. Just as Janet Yellen was basically denied her opportunity to have a second term as chair of the Fed, leading to President Biden appointing her as Treasury Secretary, so too did he feel badly about the fact that Merrick Garland never got his chance to sit on the Supreme Court, leading to his appointment as Attorney General. Unfortunately, though, personal loyalty and friendship is not a basis to be appointing officials in this era. We need people who are going to fight for democracy, because literally, the Republicans are in a position where they're fighting against it. Merrick Garland does not appear to be cut from that cloth, and so I'm calling on President Biden to replace him with somebody who is. Well, if you agree with me or disagree with me, I'd love to see your comments down below, and I'll link to that other video I mentioned up here. And if you could like this video and subscribe to this channel, that'd be a huge help. I'll see you in the next video. In the meantime, let's hope for continued progress. Thank you.